Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator. And welcome to, we're up north, we're in Bellingham. Last episode we wrapped up, we were in the center of the state, we were in Yakima. Some people say Yakima, I say Yakima. Right now we're in Bellingham. What does that look like? It looks like this. We are picking up on this crazy logging road. Well, I say Bellingham, this is where I took the job, but then we had to drive out here to pick it up. We're at a little, I don't know, some kind of logging facility. We've got one city we want to cross off our list today, Aberdeen, and I found a job from this obscure log facility. I found a job going to Aberdeen. This is fantastic. And then we've got Longview. We'll start making our way south. Right. What is going on? So you can see we swapped out our 53-foot intermodal pin trailer that we had last time, our flatbed pin trailer. We swapped that out for a full 4-bolster log trailer, and there are no, in fact I can show you that too. We want to go here. There are really no, I hope it shows it to me, yeah. There's really no log jobs in Washington. Like all these states, I mean, we were in Yakima, nothing. For any of these, did I say states earlier? I meant cities. None of these cities really have log jobs. It's only Bellingham that has logs. Now, I know we had a log trailer on before that would take pipe jobs as well, right? So maybe there's just no pipe jobs for this particular trailer because it's a mod trailer. I don't know. But these were the only log jobs that I could find in all of Washington. So that's what we're doing up here. Now we are going to have to get out of this crazy little logging road. And that is going to be, that's going to be a scene, man. A real scene. We might only make it to the highway this episode. And let's, no, there's a gate. We can't go back there. Unless that gate opens. Oh, I don't know. You want to, because there's all kinds of like logging activity going on around here. I think it's kind of cool. There's a lot of animation and movement. Let's just get going. Right, so yeah, I threw this trailer on before I looked for jobs, which I guess made sense because you can't really look for jobs without the trailer. And then, you know, the time, right? Because they expire. You can't really. You got to put your trailer on and then sort things out. There's no way to sort of find jobs that you want and then pick the trailer for them. It's got to be the other way around. So we got this thing going, and when I took the job in Bellingham, I thought it would be in Bellingham for some reason, and then it said, no, it's like 200 miles away. So we hustled out here, quick as could be, and I missed the turn because this little logging road that we're going to get on, oh man, this is going to be exciting. This little logging road that we had to get on is so tiny, I didn't even see it when we passed it on the highway. I had to turn around and go back to it. So this is going to be fun getting out of here. And it may take the entire episode because it's about 40 miles of, well, this. And it gets super tight and super twisty. I might do a little third person. But yeah, it was fun. And apparently this is the only place like this in all of Washington because it's the only place you can pick up log jobs. So I can't imagine that there would be a logging road like this anywhere else if there are no other logging jobs to pick up. Does that make sense? In my head it does. In my head everything makes sense. Everything. Right, so what else? Oh, and I should clarify also, we've got a long haul truck on a log trailer, which is not something you would typically see in the United States. Reason being, logs don't go very far. Maybe a couple hundred miles max. They tend to build the processing facilities for wood. They tend to build them near the forests so that the wood can get made into a sellable product more quickly, and you put less fuel into it and less time transporting it, and make it into a sellable product more quickly, and then you get that sellable product. A lot of it actually travels on trains, but as quickly as possible. You know what I mean? You get it. You make it from a tree into money, and there's no need to transport a log thousands of miles. I'm trying to find a good gear here because our wheels are spinning just a little bit, but I don't want to lock in the diffs, and I also don't want to go too fast, but I I don't want to go too slow. You know how it is. You know how it is. Right, so it's Friday for me. It's going to be Saturday for you. It's been a good gaming week, I have to say. It's been a little bit frustrating on the racing front, as it always is. I'm at Baku in Formula One. I hate that track. That track hates me. It's we're very amenable that way. We see eye to eye on our hatred for one another. But it is, man. I'm just doing the practice in stages. Like normally I'll do all my development programs, all my practice tests in one practice, and then do a little setup testing the next practice, and then fast forward through the third practice. I mean, I'll start it so I get the credit for it, but then I'll accelerate time to get through it, hop right into qualifying, and I can bang out a whole Grand Prix, an entire weekend in, hour and a half. I've been doing the full practice sessions of 45 minutes for Baku. And it's different in 19. The handling is a lot different. I guess there were some changes made. Now this is cool. This is a cool thing. There were some changes made in the real world in Formula One to the front wing. And Codemasters reflected that in F1 2019. The cars are a lot less grippy up front. They have a lot more understeer, unless you crank the front wing. But if you do, you're adding a lot of drag, and that slows the car down. So the cars are more understeery than we're used to. And it's interesting to hear real Formula One drivers say, oh yeah, those cars understeer like crazy. Because you think, no, man, it's a big wing. It's a big wing. My science teacher told me that if they could go fast enough, and if there was a track that had such a thing, they could drive on the roof. They could drive on the ceiling, because they make more downforce than they weigh. So I tend to think of F1 cars as just being grip monsters. And it's funny and kind of not funny in a funny way, but it's funny and kind of shocking to hear an F1 driver say, oh yeah, tons of understeer. Have I been saying understeer the whole time? I hope so. It's really early for me, by the way. I'm not quite awake, and I'm working on my coffee. Anyway, front wing, understeer, etc. Baku is not a track that you want to understeer at because it's like a concrete canyon. There's just walls everywhere. Everywhere. And you drift the back end a little bit, and maybe you bounce a back tire off one of those walls. Understeer, drift the front end, and you slide into something, break the wing, and your race is over. Because there's no place to pass on that track either, except perhaps the front straight, drag race style. I don't have that kind of power in my racing point, so it's very frustrating. Normally I can do 4 or 5 or 6 Grand Prix in a week. I've been working on that race for the better part of a week, and I haven't even started the race yet. I'm just chipping away at the preliminaries. So that is what's going on. Dirt Rally 2.0 fell down that hole hard. Loving that game. It just needed to open up. On day one, it didn't have enough content, and now that it does, it's fantastic. I love it. Big turn right here. Find a good gear. That one seems all right. Beautiful. So that is what's going on. What else? Nothing? It can't be nothing. There's got to be more going on than that. I think it's possible a lot of people in continental Europe are on holiday right now. Vacation, as they say. Take a little time off. Enjoy yourself. And so there seems to be kind of a backlog of mods for Farm Sim. I'm told 300. I don't have like a hard reference on that, but I'm told 300 mods are backlogged right now, and that would make sense if they're working a skeleton crew, if they have a lot of people out on vacation. But I'm hoping that Greenwich Seasons version gets processed through there and approved and added to the mod hub. I would love to see a Seasons version of Gazelsberg, but I don't know if that map maker is going to do that. That's a weird thing about these mods. Carefully. It's a weird thing about these mods. I agree that the mod maker sort of owns them, you know? So the idea that, once you put it out there, it belongs to everybody. No. Only if the mod maker says so. And some do, but not many. Most of them don't. So they own that mod. And if they have not, in the case of Farm Sim, as an example, if they have not made it seasons compatible, in all fairness, we can't use the unauthorized conversion. We got to wait for the mod maker to make their conversion. That's cool. But what if they don't? And it's not that the mod is abandoned. They just haven't converted it. Find a gear here. There's one. It's not that it's abandoned. They could still be working on it. They just have no intention of bringing it up to seasons. Maybe they don't like seasons. Maybe, who knows? But it's interesting, to realize that we're sort of, I wouldn't say at the mercy of mod makers, but it's kind of a relationship we have with them, because they do all this for us for free. Okay, we're down at the highway. We got out of there a little quicker than I thought we would. Good for us. We have a relationship with mod makers. They make mod content for us for free. Free to us. I think they may make a little money from it, depending on what site they post to for things to be downloaded. Now, I don't know if Giants pays mod makers. I've heard people say they do. I've heard other people say they don't. Who knows? But if you get, a couple $100 a month for your mod, fantastic. It hasn't cost me anything directly, although I guess advertisers pay to advertise on sites where people download things, and then when I buy products, part of the money that I spend on the product goes to the advertising budget. It's the same way YouTube works, same way Facebook works. They may not charge you for it, but you buy things from people that advertise on it, and that's how everybody makes the money. I think some mod makers make some money that way as well. So it's free to me. They make some money. Everybody's happy. But at the same time, we don't really have any... It's I don't want to say voluntary. Yeah, I think that is a good word. It's almost like mod makers are volunteering. And the thing about volunteering is, don't give me a lot of crap. I'm volunteering here. You're not paying me. I'm not on the clock. I'll do what I want. And if you don't like it, then I'll stop volunteering. I'll stop making these mods for you. I'll stop making these maps for you for free. So it's not the same as a typical consumer situation where, you go to a restaurant, you order the food's not good, you call the waiter over, hey pal, this is not so good. Tell the chef, make me another one. This is not good. Because you're a paying customer. And it's completely different with mods. You get on Facebook or on Discord or something and tell a mod maker, hey, I don't like your mod. And they say, okay, so, so what? Don't use it. Who cares? Random citizen, who cares what you think? So it is a little bit different. We are, we could say we're dependent. These games are not the same without mods. We're dependent on mods. We're dependent on mod makers. The developers are too, in some ways. Also dependent on mod makers. Now, their relationship may be a little different than the one that we have with mod makers, but regardless, we need them. And yet, we're not paying them. So we have expectations from them, and yet we have no leverage over them because, you vote with your wallet. Well, not if you don't spend any money, you don't. So it's an interesting conundrum. It's something to think about. It really is, and I think about it. There is a truck for ATS, the D3S Mercedes Ontos. I love that little truck. I really do. It's like a little mule. I love it, and it's a good mod. I have to say, it's a good model. It's could use a little maybe tuning up of the script, a little cleanup. It's been handed off a couple times. It's several years old, but I really love that mod. It comes and goes for ETS, And the thing is, when you patch up a game, if a mod has not been patched up, a mod truck, I think we'll be more specific. If a mod truck has not been patched up in your garage, it will just come up as NA. Why we're not stopping? Oh, there it goes. Like, it just doesn't exist. And sometimes the game will swap in just a base game truck. I'm going to stop back here so I can see the light, and I drifted forward enough that I can't see the light anyway. So you'll still have a truck in that slot. Like, if you've got a driver hired, you'll still have a truck, and they can still drive that truck. But it won't be your mod truck. Get a good gear here. Could have done this earlier. There we go. And then when it patches up, as long as you don't touch it or try to modify it or try to sell it or anything, when that mod truck patches up, it will reappear, right? But some don't. Some mod trucks don't reappear, and some mod trucks change, and it can be kind of tricky. So there's ways to get around it. One way is never update your game, but that can be problematic as well. There's a little flicker, not liking that. That can be problematic as well, because sometimes mods update, and if you haven't rolled your game forward, now you've got an uncompatible mod. It's just it's a whole scene. So this truck disappeared for the longest time, and it's back now. And I was thinking yesterday, as I was getting it all set up, I was thinking, how could I have handled this? Like, what would be the proper procedure? I mean, I could have not updated the game until this truck was fixed, but I had no idea whether or not it would be. There have been gaps where it jumped from like 1.32 to 1.34. It's kind of it's kind of a thing. So what I'm getting at, what I'm saying, if I'm trying to say anything at all, is we as gamers, we really are at the mercy of modders, and yet at the same time we can't give them any crap at all because they give us their product for free. So there's a bit of a tension there, and I'm tremendously grateful to modders. I love them. I can't believe what they do, and I can't believe that they give it away. I was talking with somebody about that yesterday. Absolutely unbelievable what modders do for us as a community. And so many of these games I don't think they would be nearly as popular as they are. Some of them, I don't even think they would exist were it not for modders making them into so much more than the developer could or did make them into. So I love modders, and I love what they do. And at the same time, it can be frustrating that you really have no input. You have really no say. Now, that's not to say there are not modders that aren't interested in feedback, and we'll talk to you on Discord, and get an email chain going, get a thread going, give them feedback. There are people that put samples of their work up and say, hey, what do you think of this? Should I do this or should I do that? That does happen. I'm not saying that it doesn't. What I'm saying is it is entirely at the discretion of the modder. They don't have to do that. Whereas in a typical business relationship, I give you money, you give me a product. You have to listen to me, or I'll stop giving you money. And it's not like I'm holding you hostage. I'll just lose interest and go spend my money elsewhere. And you know that as a business. And so you would do well to pay attention to your customers. And I feel like modders understand that they don't have to do that. And in fact, yeah, we can even talk about that. I've seen modders absolutely light people up over nothing. And when you think about how many kids are on these Discords and how many kids are involved in gaming, it's possible. It's not guaranteed. And I think a lot of people can tell the difference, when you're talking to a kid or when you're talking to an adult. But when it comes to gaming, like on Discord or something, and you see somebody say something dumb, unless you know what that person is about, because people communicate differently, people type differently, different words, different cultures, different languages, right? There's a lot going on a forum like Discord. Unless you know That person you just lit up for asking a dumb question could be 12 years old, and you come off like a gigantic a-hole. And I've seen that over and over. Not necessarily somebody lighting up a kid, although I have seen that. But I've seen people absolutely go off. I'm talking about modders. Absolutely go off over nothing. And I think if anybody in any other business tried that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not Beyonce, right? You're not. It's cool what you do. We appreciate what you do, but it's not that big a deal, and you're not the only one doing it. And yet the response from modders can be so over the top and so hostile, and you know, they're constantly threatening to retire, they're threatening to quit, and they got these little groups of fans and acolytes. It's a whole scene, and there's really no parallel in business that I know of where business owners can act the same way and still expect to keep their customer base. So it is it's something to think about, and I don't know, you know, what the real solution is. I think there are a lot of modders that if there was a way for them to get paid consistently, regularly, I think they would be all over that. There just isn't, because once a mod is released, you know, the highest level games, or the games with the highest level of crack protection and anti-cheat and various other things, they still get cracked. So the idea that a company with a budget like Giants making Farm Sim, that they could have some type of I won't say cloud-based, I guess, hack-proof, cheat-proof, where basically all your mods would be paid for, and they would all live on the server side. Or even if they weren't paid for, yeah, that's fair enough. Even if you didn't pay for them, right, you could still get them free on the mod hub. But if they didn't load from the server side, they would at least have to check in and get approved by the server side. This is getting a little interesting here. Okay. So you see what I'm saying, that you could have 500 mods, but unless your internet is up and running and your client side can check in with the server side and confirm that those are all up to date and approved and what have you, they're not going to work. And that would be one way if you did want to sell mods via, as an example, the mod hub. If you did want to sell mods, that would be one way to ensure that nobody had stolen any. Go right here, 68,000 pounds, good. Other than that, I mean, there's no mechanism that I can think of to ensure that people don't trade mods around, even paid mods. The Straw Harvest for FS17, that was a paid mod via Aerosoft. I paid like 20 bucks for it, and a few days later I saw the whole thing cracked, either as a kit or as individual pieces. And it's like a beheading video or something. Once it's out there, once one person has downloaded it, it can't be stopped. You can't get rid of it. It's everywhere. If you just look for it, it's everywhere. So a company like Aerosoft trying to like sanitize the internet of their mod, are you kidding me? There's like dozens and dozens and dozens of websites where you can download things. People are trading around private links for Google Drive. It's impossible. And at any given moment, one of the people who has downloaded it can just re-upload it somewhere else. It's whack-a-mole, and you can't win. And that's Aerosoft, which is a decent-sized company. So the idea that a single modder could somehow prevent their mod from getting loose on the internet, it's impossible. And I think that's why most modders have resigned themselves to giving this stuff away, because they know even if they did sell it to one person, at some point it would get loose, and then, you know, all bets are off. Other than, like I said earlier, some type of it's not intrusive, but that's to go to a paid model and server side and have everything stored on the cloud, etc. That's a pretty that's a pretty big fix. Are we supposed to get off here? It's telling us to go to the left. That's a pretty big fix. It really is. It's overkill potentially. So that was a bit tangential. But what I'm getting at is I think a lot of these mod makers would love to sell their mods and would love to make money. There's simply no mechanism for it at the moment, and so we go with the next best thing, which is the download sites. They get a little bit of money, but since we're not actually paying for it, since we're not actually buying it, we're out of the loop. No feedback. So yeah, that was something I've been thinking about. Although, hang on, this is a straight chunk of road here. Let me do two things. Let me hop out here and get a little screenshotter. Beautiful. Needed that. And then I'm going to try to get some coffee while the road's pointed straight. Hang on. Now I'm thinking about the flip side to that. Because this is, I'm a big fan of that Socratic method. And man, I do like thinking. I really do. I love thinking about stuff. I love trying to figure out the unfigure-outable. It's fun. And even if you never figure it out, just the process of trying to figure it out can sometimes be very, not rewarding. What's the word I'm looking for? You might not figure out the thing you're trying to figure out, but you're very likely to figure out a bunch of other things. So now I'm thinking about this. There are plenty of developers that do sell games for money, sometimes for big money, $100 plus for a game. And you get the impression that they don't give a crap about their customers. Yeah. So, right? I was thinking earlier, these modders, they give the product away and they don't really listen to their customer base, their fan base. Not always. Some do. I'm not speaking in absolutes here. Some do. But a lot of them don't. And then I'm thinking, there's developers that sell games for big money, and they don't listen to their customers. Although some do. So, okay. I think I might be writing a couple angry emails later. Nah, I probably will not. But yeah, there are definitely some games and sims that I have in my library that have some bugs, that have some things that need addressing, and a lot of people are telling the developers to address that, and oh no. Well, we need to sleep anyway. Alright. Oh no, okay, so we've got two messages coming up. We've got an unexpected event, and we've got, oh dear. Things are about to get hectic here. So I'm going to use the map as a pause menu. Obviously, we're getting off right here. So we're going to use the map as a pause menu. And where are we? Well, I hope we just go down and turn around and come back this way. Although, looks like we can't. Oh, no. It looks like we can't get back on. Like if we go up and turn around, we can't. So do we have to go all the way around through Port Angeles? There's no way we can be on time if that's the case. There's just no way. So we have to come at it from this side, from the south. We can't rejoin from the north. Oh no. This is really problematic. Because whether we go down to the south or up to the north, it's still going to add. Like we're 29 miles from our destination right now, and yeah, this is really problematic. Okay, we're just going to have to wing it here. I don't know how else to get there other than to. Oh no. I want to see when it reroutes us. I'm curious. 174 miles. Yeah, we're definitely going to be late. Oh, no. Okay. And we have to sleep, too. Oh, no. Everything just went wrong on us. This is terrible. I don't think there's any place to sleep going up the 101 here. Oh, no. Okay. Well, even if we could turn around to get back to Olympia. Huh. All right. Where are we at on time? 30 minutes exactly. Ah. You want to call it here? Do you want to leave it a cliffhanger? I think we might. Yeah, I'm just gonna freeze in midstream. And we'll pick it up here next week, and we'll try to figure this mess out. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of American Truck Simulator. We'll see you next time. Take care now.